Hi, all and everyone. Thank you for participating. For those who do, hopefully this is going to be a very brief once upon a time review for the latest episode, which is season 4, episode 16. And I've been spending all this time getting my wonderful audio together that I didn't have time to look up the actual name. So let's go ahead and do that together. We'll go ahead and look at this one. Share to everybody. I'm hoping that this new sound is working better. Sorry for that, I had to pick something up. Alright, so we are looking at Once Upon a Time, Season 4, Episode 16. Whoops, not 165. 16. And that is called... Can we see? Apparently there's some people who've got episodes available. Probably not exactly on YouTube. I myself find it kind of easy to stream the Eastern stream. All you gotta do is broadcast. Pardon me, you Google a stream ABC. Okay, so let's try Google because the AVG is getting to me. Alrighty. I'm hoping that my theory is correct and that all the car sounds are not strong enough to impede with my current sound system. Also, I'm hoping there's no echo, but there might be. It's very possible. Alright, so we are looking for what this lovely episode was called today, because that is not one thing I am good at keeping track of. But in case you're interested, it's good to know as much as you can about what it's called, so you can find it. Alright. Okay. I'm not looking for the full episodes. Technically, I'm just looking for Google. Google spazzing a little. Maybe they have some idea on Wikipedia what it's supposed to be called. Because sometimes they have the feature entitled episodes available. So let's just see if we can find this information and then get on with the rest of this lovely review. Because some stuff did happen, and from a total geek who likes the video games, I can see how it's going to make things a bit easier, but also a bit harder, as I'll get into later. Okay, getting tired of that. Okay, let's see. Why can't I... What's this called? Why is my Google not working? Due to the whiz. And a ton of fizz. Alright, any second. Been trying to do a lot with this lovely computer lately. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Yay. Yeah, that's a plus. I'm hoping that the echo isn't coming in on your end. Oh, I just thought of something. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Okay, right now I got it set up where I got 2 lovely views of myself. But while we're here waiting to see what my computer does, I'm gonna make sure. Oh, I confused myself. I'm like, why am I looking at my screen again? Okay, I should be muted. Oh, I am. Okay, good. Alright, moving back on over to this loveliness. We're here at the Wikipedia page, and hopefully we can find a proper example of what this lovely episode was called. Because I sure am not good at that particular part. Alright, this would be season, okay. We're on 16. Hey, go a little down, please. Rolly dolly. 4, 5, 16. Here we go. This was called Poor Unfortunate Soul. It's the 82nd overall Once Upon a Time episode. Really looking forward to 100. So, season 4, episode 16. Poor Unfortunate Soul. And I suppose they're saying stars. Steve Perlman. What was it written by? You know what? Poor Unfortunate Souls. That's really fitting because a lot of the aerial, I want to say tropes, for the lack of a better word, and for watching too much Watch Mojo. So we'll see if that actually comes into play. But for now, I think that's enough screen sharing. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and share this screen for a minute. Or I should say this camera. Hello, viewer. So this is a quick recap of Season 4, Episode 16, Poor Unfortunate Souls. Took me some notes, so I'm going to go over them. Okay, it all begins with young Ursula, and I'm looking at this camera, but hi. Young Ursula, apparently, because I have to stream this, I miss things, especially today, it chopped in and out. I don't care if I have to figure out ways to watch it every week that aren't entirely 100% legitimate. It's worth it. Alright, so, I was wondering, hey, did her father just die or something? But no, that's not what happened. And that's something that's going to be come clear once we get to a later conversation. So that's helpful. I'm really glad how they're able to. That's one of the strengths of the show. They're able to keep viewers in on what's going on, even if they didn't start it at the very first second of these shows. Some shows you watch, if you haven't seen it from the first part, it's like, what's going on? I just don't know. Okay, let's see. I'll switch to this one for a minute. Okay, so they go to the present, and of course, where we last left everybody last week was that the ladies, the queens of the dark as they are, and Rumpelstiltskin, the dark one, they and Regina, who is also questionably becoming dark, whether it is for her own benefit or if it's just to infiltrate into basically the coven, for lack of a better word. It's still a little, up in the air at the beginning of this episode. But we do know is the last episode, which was Enter the Dragon, what happened was they went and they got Pinocchio and little boy Pinocchio, and they dragged him on over to Rumpelstiltskin's cottage, which is weird because I don't remember ever seeing a cottage for him before, and I've seen every single episode, and some of them twice or 3 times if I'm trying to get people to watch this with me. Um, Regardless, they go ahead. They bring in Rumpelstiltskin. He uses his magic dagger. He makes Pinocchio, little boy Pinocchio, go back into August. August Booth. Yay! I'm sorry, standing ovation. I'm so happy that guy is back. He was so cool, and it was so bad that he almost totally got killed. And then he's forced to end up. Spoiler alert! Sorry if you haven't seen this. I definitely recommend you watch it. It's on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, you should be able to catch up with everything from seasons 1 through 3. So, but the deal is, he is back. He is no longer stuck being wood, which was a real big thing in season 1, and he's no longer stuck being a little boy that he was starting season 2, and now he can have it all. He just got freed, so I guess after he recuperates, we'll get into that. Point is, yay, but I don't know how happy his dad's going to be, so we'll talk about that later. But for now, August is trapped. No longer Pinocchio, stuck here. They're like, hey, especially Rumpelstiltskin, hey, this author guy, you know something. I know you know something. Don't you be being a pain. You tell me. So the deal was, oh no, I don't have to say nothing. So their thing was, hey, you know what? I'll cut you up. Then Regina's like, oh no, don't do that. And they're all like, oh, I knew it. You're getting soft. She's like, oh no, he used to be wood. Let's get the little fire up under him. And it has a big old fireball, and it's like, oh no, Regina, don't do that. Okay. So he agrees because he's very scared of being, inflamed, which I would, I've got a big fear of fire myself, so I agree with that. Uh, was back when I was deserting the task at hand, because what we find out, not in I think the tail end of season 1 and some parts of season 2, basically, he was his job. He was Pinocchio. He was sent all the way back with Emma to go to the world of no magic so that he could watch out for her. Because he's a little boy, like 7 years old, Pinocchio, of course. And then she's a little baby. That way, they wouldn't be alone. Well, they end up in the orphanage together, but then while he gets there, he, of course, does the whole let me go with the Lost Boys thing that, from, the Disney movie Pinocchio, and, the book also. And he's all like, oh, really? You've got money and you're trying to, like, leave this place? Is that baby right there? But, I'm good. Yeah, let's do this. So he totally ditches her. And Emma's got this huge, big, thick, oh my god, wall all the time. And she never wants to let anybody in. And it's like, dude, you could have totally helped with that. I mean, finally she's getting out of that. Yay, Emma, go girl. But, I don't know. I don't know how that's. And, stop killing me, people. Okay, so what's going to happen now is he tells them, hey, this shaman, mystic, whatever guy, he knew about this author dude. It was before me. I don't really know anything about it. However, when he died, I got all his research. Hey, it's conveniently in my trailer. Yeah, go check that out, okay? Yeah. So, he's like, okay, I'm gonna go. Regina, you stay right on here. Watch this, dude. And then Cruella de Vil and Ursula, And I want to say other chick was there too, Maleficent. I didn't see much of her this episode, but next episode is going to get way Maleficent heavy. So if you are, today was hashtag Ursula. It's all about Ursula and her story and whether or not, she could get her happy ending. And so that's why they even on the bottom of the screen was hashtag Ursula at ABC. So if you like Ursula, then go to ABC and woohoo. But if you're a Maleficent fan, that's next week. Should have looked up what that's called. But anyway, for now, what happened? Oh, Rump booked. Regina is, she said not a yes, but I don't know, and I'm messing up myself here. Yo. Okay. I'm not frozen. That's good. Alright, so. Oh, okay. This was the fun part. I gotta say, I really love this. So if you still have some time to watch this, or if you're gonna catch it on Hulu or something, please do. Because there was a little doll today, but it did set a lot of groundwork, and it did set the ball rolling for a few things. So I'm definitely eager to see how the rest of the season turns out. But one of the cute things was that Regina's there, and she's being basically stuck with August, and she knows she's being watched, and it's like, okay, so she makes a face, because Rumpus said, oh, okay, that's right, before Rumpelstiltskin left, he said to Regina, you finally joined the winning team. And then Regina makes this, like, maybe you want something kind of thing. So, am I missing myself? Oh, I'm sorry. The downside is I found this nifty app on Android, at least, where you can actually use your Android phone as a microphone and attach it to your your laptop, computer, whatever, with a male-to-male 3.55 millimeter jack. So that's why I went ahead and did. And then I totally forgot that, hey, it's bad if my phone rings now because it's automatically possibly going to get recorded. And then I just looked over at the volume green thing, and it is. It's like, oh, shoot. Okay, that's just something I'm going to have to worry about editing out. I've spent already way too much time working on editing the audio for. Howdy. Get that lower. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry, I gotta do a little talking to myself. Yo, cool. No. No. Cover your ears. I'll thumbs up when it's okay. Goodness gracious. This gotta be the hardest part. Getting the sound right. Oh, come on. There is no reason to do all that. Yep, no. Silly phone. Tree it then. I want to get back to my thing. Go. Yep. Hey. How? Here we go. Okay. I think we're good now. I'm hoping. Are we good? Turn that down a little. Hello? Okay, we'll try that way. Okay. No. Hello. Oh well. Okay. So, I lost my track of, thinking, but we'll see. So the face, oh yeah, it hooks with them, and like I said, the wafting comes, and next thing you know, there's Mary Margaret, and she's all like stiff as a board, and out of her mouth comes Regina's voice, and it's warning her, which is kind of cool. It's like, okay, this is the first time I can think of where someone was able to control how someone was acting and thinking and moving without actually having to rip out someone's heart. And for this to be Mary Margaret, of all people, the number one person she's been trying to, well, when she was the evil queen, kill, and then last episode it was a lot. I'm going to switch over to this lovely one for a minute. Oh, okay. So the deal with that is, what was interesting about that is, it was last episode, Return of the Dragon or Enter the Dragon. Either way, I think it was Enter. It was all about Regina helping Maleficent, working up her. I'm gonna look. Sorry, I'm still used to looking over there. Helping her be the, get back to being the fierce dragon that she was, because what had happened was Maleficent had tried to fight against Briar Rose and Stefan and lost, and so she got all uptight because she's like, oh, they're happy ending and I don't get one, so I'm just gonna go and do this thing to get myself just super plastered, which is interesting because a lot of people tend to, that is actually a real kind of response a lot of people like to implement when they figure that life is just too terrible right now. I just gotta try to numb things down. So that's what she was doing. And the whole reasoning behind Regina wanting for Maleficent to get back to the high stature of evilness that she was at was she was like, hey, if you never get your revenge, then I'm never gonna get mine. Like, no way. And the other thing is, the discovery she made is that for her, basically what Maleficent had said was like, hey, I could have killed Stefan, I could have went around and killed Briar Rose too, but you know what, in this case, Briar Rose and Rare are not the same person, they're two separate people. I'm pretty sure in the Sleeping Beauty animated film, that's probably the next thing that's going to be made, what do you call it? They haven't ever did that. They really should. I mean, they did Maleficent. Okay, so I guess it's kind of... Anyway, getting back to our subject. Point is, it's all about Regina pushing Maleficent to get back being fierce, and then Maleficent figures, hey, I could just kill them, but it would actually suck so much more for them if I took away something they love, which would be their daughter. So for that reason, I'm going to kill the daughter, X, Y, and Z. So what Regina learned from that by the end of last week's episode was, hey, I'm going to go, if I really, really want to hurt Mary Margaret, it's not about killing away about killing her anymore. It's about taking away the thing she loves the most. So getting back to this week's episode, again, it's like I really, 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 really want to see Regina get on the right track, and actually, I want to see them all. I want to see everybody end up getting their happy ending in a way where the heroes don't have to end up, because as they were saying, which we'll get to, uh, apparently there's a balance, and there's just no way that heroes and winners can, heroes and villains can win at the same time. I'm hoping that's totally wrong. I'm hoping everybody wins. I like that idea. So, anyhow, the point is, she had an opportunity to do some major harm to Mary and Margaret. So, of all the people to choose to, like, to, possess, what, Mary and Margaret? And then she had an opportunity to actually do something, like, malicious, and then, nope. But that doesn't mean she isn't necessarily ever going to do anything, because, like I said, she had apparently learned, at least from last episode, that what she needs to really do is take away something she loves. I mean, that being said, that was all about what season 1 was about. It was about Regina getting her happy ending and being the only one to get her happy ending. And part of what made her have such a happy ending, at least to start till she got bored with it, was the fact that she knew that Snow and David didn't know each other. In fact, David was in some anonymous random John Doe in a hospital in a coma, and Snow was just desperately seeking Susan at the time, like just whatever. And so that kept her happy. And then also having a tryst with the sheriff. If you have not seen this show from season 1, my goodness, this is just an amazing show. I don't know what it is, but anyhow, I've always just been really cool on Disney. It's like Disney, 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 yay! And then I love how stories. I'm a fool for stories, and so when people can go and add their own mix and their own twists and jumble things up, it's just very interesting, and that's why I like this show, and that's why I like Kingdom Hearts series. And you'd think I'd be more interested in the whole Maleficent thing. I mean, good for Angelina Jolie, but it just, I'm kind of on a budget, so if I can avoid spending money on, at least I wait till I go visit family and watch it with them, but I'm not the let me go hang out in the theater by myself kind of person. Anyhow, that being said, Maleficent was not in this episode very much. When inside, Regina possesses Belle. She says, "Yo, Rumpelstiltskin is in town!" And she warns them that, hey, they're up to something. I don't really know what, but I'm trying to get it together. But right now, I'm like stuck in this cabin with August, but we're okay right now. Okay, so right after that, the crew, they go over and they visit Belle over at Gold's shop. And the thing about that is, they're like, hey, that dude's in town again. You know, your husband, the one you kicked out of town, but technically you are still married. So it's like, I really don't understand how nobody... It's like, okay, it was such a huge thing in season 1 when Mary and Margaret... I'm so sorry, I don't mean to like or anything, but I'm just saying, if you want to know what the heck I'm talking about, if you don't already, you should see this, even if you know what happens, because I'm not saying when it happens. I mean, just know it does happen. I mean, obviously it happens because they're together now, so I'm not giving too much away. Point is, there was a time where David, or Prince Charming, whatever, he was in the hospital, he gets out of his coma, they start to get a thing going on, he finds out, oh, he's actually married to Cinderella. It sounds crazy, but it's just so good time. Every week, it really picks me up. That being said, Mary Margaret was having this huge thing about, oh, should I be trying to be with him? He's married, etc. And then they started trying this or that, but then it was like, okay, that's not going to work too well. And then Cinderella ended up disappearing. Of course, they didn't realize who they were at the time. Hopefully, I'm not giving that away either. But the point is, they're like, it's a big thing. It's a taboo. Adultery is a huge thing. But now we're in season 4. Bella's obviously that's her husband, Rumpelstiltskin. You know, it's her choice. She made that choice to be married to this dude. She continued, and if you want to hear me rant on about how silly she was, that you could totally watch my last week 2-hour wonderfulness. You know, and basically the stuff and the stuff. She married this man. She decided to be with him. She kicked him out, but there wasn't any like, oh, let's go see a judge. Let's get. I mean, come on. Take us back to Regina, and she probably had some kind of paperwork for that, knowing her, because hey, she's a mirror. A and B, she kind of is really good at the heartbreak thing, unfortunately. But no, they just they kicked him out. Figured, oh, he's never going to be in it again. And then he pops up. And here she is with Will Scarlet, who has come on in from Wonderland, which I still haven't really gotten into. I agree with some of the reviews that I've seen about other episodes this season. It is kind of weird that they kind of just had him there for like a little placeholder, just so he could get his paycheck, but not really. And even today, I hate to say it, he still hasn't really. He had like 2 lines, and it was it's fun because it's like basically he was there, and or was it now or is that later? How do I know if it's Hook? Okay. So basically, they come visit Belle. Belle's all like, "How do I know that you're really you, Hook? And you're not Rumpelstiltskin?" And they're like, "Oh, if that was Loverboy, he would. No, hold on. If that was him, he would kill Loverboy by now." Pointing to Will Scarlet. And it's like, and then Belle finally gets it. Oh, he totally like last week. He totally fooled me. I had no idea that was him, but it's like I was saying last week during my review. He's like, okay, pretend this is done. It's like he's standing there. He's like, hey, all you have to do to make sure that he's not in town is you just have to say, oh, Rumpelstiltskin, face me. And so she's like, oh, Rumpelstiltskin, face me. And meanwhile, like, if I'm me going as Hook, right? I mean, he's Hook, but but the point is, he's staring at her, he's facing her, but she's just oblivious and looking just, I like that. She is really good at looking, like, her outlook, her keeping a positive worldview is awesome. But in this show, it's really been kind of ridiculous. Alright, but she finally gets it. Oh, the guy I really gave this dagger to was Rumpelstiltskin after all. And then Hook's like, oh, dang it, I should have killed that dude with that dagger when I had the chance. Because basically he was saying that I wouldn't be caught dead with that thing because it's the property of my most hated nemesis, etc. And then, will return. And then a commercial break! Yay! Let's, see what kind of money we can spend for things. Then we come back, and Regina shows August a page, and the page is the one that was given to her by Robin Hood, like, episode 3 or 4 or something like that, and it's one of the possible outcomes that could have happened. See, this is explaining time about that. Back before the curse, sometime after Snow White had spilled the secret that had led to her true love being killed by her mother, and I think it was also after she had the genie kill her husband, the king, who was also Snow White's father. Oh my god, this sounds so crazy. Okay. Point is, sometime after that, before she started wanting to be evil, but I guess she still was kind of like about to go there, but not really. Oh yeah, she had a sister. I forgot. That's what the whole Wicked thing was about. Oh my god, they just I can't. Please, I hope they never do Star Wars because that would just be too much more to try to add. Same thing with Kingdom Hearts. They really got a lot of stuff going on without having to include the Force, the Force, the Force. Uh, anyhow, point is, she runs into Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is trying to basically get her wings, kind of like this whole what do you call it? It's an Incredible Life kind of thing. Oh, you know what? I am putting on chat. In case you are interested in chatting, you can. It's right there. I don't know if it's going to make a sound. I've never tried to chat before. Okay, that was froze. Alright, so, the deal with that is, the story with that is, the thing with that is, they meet up. Tinkerbell's like, hey, I know exactly who it is that you need to be with. And if I can go ahead and make you fall in love with the man you're destined to be with, then you'll stop trying to do all this evil all the time because you won't have any need to because that hole in your heart, which is funny to say about Regina and her mother, but that hole in your heart is going to be filled up and then you're going to stop being wicked and evil and whatever. So, yeah, okay, this is happening. So, they end up getting to outside the bar. And Tinkerbell's like, hey, the man who you're destined to be with, he's right there. He's got like a lion tattoo. Just go on in there, meet him. Regina attempts it. She goes by herself. She attempts to. She sees like the tattoo. She chickens out like crazy. Something we have in common versus us, I guess. Like, what happens if I actually get things the way I want them? Then what? Then she trips off. She lies to Tinkerbell saying, oh yeah, we totally met. You were so wrong, blah, blah, blah. Tinkerbell totally doesn't get her wings, and in fact she gets stuck in Neverland. I kind of forgot what the details were about how that happened, but point is, yeah, she ended up in Neverland, so she had a big old grudge with Regina. And I haven't seen her since, which is weird. Like, I don't recall them saying where the heck Tinkerbell went after the events of Neverland. I don't recall. I don't think she got stuck there. Okay, I'd have to go read too. Heart's in the right place, but my brain is just got issues sometimes. That being said, that guy ended up being Robin Hood. Robin Hood ends up coming back in a big way. I want to say at least since the start of this season, season 4, but it might have also been season 3 too. But the point is, they started definitely having connection. Regina finally saw, hey, this is so true. See, her major thing was, it wasn't necessarily that, oh, I'm going to succeed. It was that, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to move on from, I think his name was, it's not James. James was the brother of David. Ooh, sorry, I totally forgot. And then they had this, like, Halloween episode where the guy was Frankenstein. He ends up making her deceased lover come back from the dead and kind of made him into this monstrous something or other that had no control. You know, Frankenstein's monster kind of deal. And next thing you know, he's going after, it's like a Halloween episode, he's going after Henry. She has no choice but to put him away before her past love can put her current love, which is in Henry, which actually, now that I think about it, was the gorgeous thing about one of the, okay, there are a few things that were definitely tedious and boring about season 2, about, I believe that's one of Neverland, but one of the things I really enjoyed was how the true loves kissed in that particular episode. That must have been 3. Was with Regina and Henry and how that was able to get everything straight. Really gorgeous. I really love, and I love how they've been building on that with the whole idea of what's really been helping her having Henry there, and also Regina slowly coming out of her shell as Emma's slowly coming out of there, and so now they're friends. finally. So it's like, I'm really happy about that. But the point is, she could have been with Robin Hood from the get-go. She decided, later on they ended up having good times together. Problem with that is, Emma, she finds herself back in fairy tale land. There's this lady who's going to be executed on order of the queen, who she happens to be locked in jail with. Emma's like, oh no, I'm a hero, I can't let anybody die. I have the answer, you must come back to the world that magic me, you must conserve it with me. She does. Uh-oh, it's the wife of Robin Hood, it's Miriam, Maid Miriam. And that's how season 3 ended, that's right. Okay, so that was season 3, how that started up. Point is, tough times. Okay, must not like the spoilers, but that's okay. So, what's going to happen, or hopefully you went to watch because it's almost on. Alright. So, for any particular future viewers I have, whether during this broadcast or on my YouTube page, I'll just finish this up as quickly as possible. Sorry, I do tend to ramble a bit. Point is, Hook says he regrets not killing Rumple, but he knows something that will help. He has said that he had mentioned that there was something about the past, and now he can go ahead and do that. So, Regina shows August this page after the commercial. She said, the man has, he said that the man has a boy's memories, his explanation as to how he knew who Robin Hood was. So, later on, we get to Hook and Ursula, and he's basically like, let's make a deal, and she's like, oh yeah, okay, we'll do that. And then, we go back to Fairy Tale Land. Magic Forest, I think they call it. And then we have young Ursula, and she is singing at a bar. And Hook is like, hey, thank you very much. You didn't sink my ship. So apparently at the start of it, the Jolly Roger was in danger of being sunk because she was being a siren. But then something in her decided, oh, no, I actually don't want to do that anymore. So therefore, I'm going to let you and yours be good. So he's like, hey, I owe you a drink for, not crashing. Alright. So, she says, oh, my voice is all I have left of my mother. It's all I have left to keep her alive. And, as somebody who is in that position, who has grown up without her mother, I can totally relate to that. Big hearts on that. Okay, so Hook is like, every waking moment he was thinking about revenge, but something about listening to your song actually made me forget about that. And Ursula, young Ursula, she's like, oh, I just always wanted to, make people happy. And he's like, okay, so what are you doing around here? And she's like, oh, I want a passage to somewhere. And he's like, and I need gold. He's like, oh, no, you don't, because I'll take you. I'll take you tomorrow, mañana, mañana en la mañana. I'll take you tomorrow morning. So, in the present, oh, right, the other thing is, she had mentioned that a pirate had killed her mother. That is why her father was against humans and only wanted her to sing in order to lure the ships into the lovely to their deaths. So I can bury down. So in the present, she's like, where'd you bury my thing I'm looking for? He's like, I didn't bury it, it's on my ship. But can you still do the portals. She's basically is like, since you're a monster, and she's like, oh, since I'm the monster you made me into. So basically, she opens a portal. He's like, oh, it didn't work. Something like that. And she's like, oh, that's not the only thing that's changed. She lifts up this thing, and what that is a nice little ship in the bottle. It's just Jolly Roger for some reason. Now, can't say I know what that was about. So back in the past, Ursula's father has been waiting for Hook to come back to his ship, and he totally jumps him, and he's all like, oh, I'm going to switch over here. Okay. And he's all like, oh no, she's not going with you. What you're going to do is, I have a chance, this shell right here. You're going to take this, you're going to use this on her, you're going to trap the voice, and therefore her reason for going will be gone, and she'll stay with me. And he's like, no, I can't do that to her because she has definitely brought back in something in me that hasn't been there for a long time. And he's like, well, you will, because if not, then I won't help you get your vengeance on Rumpelstiltskin. So, Ursula, father, chanting, singing voice, magic will. Oh, and it's the squidding, he says, which is interesting because I took that really big, because it's a big tie-in to season 2, because squidding was actually what Rumpelstiltskin had used to write on his prison walls, and that later on the other people were. Well, on top of that, that's how he got trapped, and then that's how they ended up getting freed. So I guess squidding was just like a multi-purpose kind of deal. But alright, so we go back to the. He said, "It's simple, pirate. Just show her how awful humans really are." Present, Rumpelstiltskin. He comes back. Oh, this is the one I was talking about. Shoot. Alright. So, okay. So this is when Hook is in the picture. The other one I was drawing, that wasn't earlier. This is when Hook comes in, and this is, she's like, oh, how do I know it's not, and that's when they're like, oh, everybody would have been dead. And then he's like, Hook's like, hey, I want to say Will Scarlet, but that doesn't sound right all of a sudden. Hey, do you know how to, like, get the ship back the way it's supposed to go? You've been to Wonderland, you might know something. Next thing you know, Robin Hood pops up on Regina, and they hug tenderly. Out in the far left, the evil queen comes up. Regina's like, what you doing here? She comes up, and the evil comes up with a big old fireball. And Regina wakes up with a startle. Cruella de Vil's like, hey, if you need something to help you sleep, I got something for that. Not really sure what she's talking about. I mean, it could be her persuasion. I don't know. Or I don't know. This wouldn't be the first time they got intoxicated with something. Rumpelstiltskin didn't look. Okay, so Ursula comes back. He's like, oh, I didn't go look at there. Oh, that guy's a born liar. What I did do is I rummaged around in the fairy's magic supplies. I got this potion right here. And I'm going to turn him back into wood. And so he does. But not entirely, which is good. He made it so that there's a commercial break, and we came back. He made it so that his nose would grow if he lied. So that was interesting. And last page, so I get to be done with this soon. Yippee. So, okay. For August, back. I was seeing for August, and then, I got some other stuff. Tell me about the red page store, Rumpel says. And he's like, hey, I gave it to Henry, Regina says. Hope says Regina come with him because she's seen the door in the picture from last episode. So in the past, Ursula's singing. She's there on a ship. She's like, "Oh, I thought I'd sing for the crew." Hook shows the show, and he said, "Hey, I may be a." Basically, he's like tells her what the lowdown is. He's like, "Hey, I may be a pirate, but I have a code." When she asks, "Why are you doing this? You could have just gotten the thing that you want." And so in the present, Hook and Ursula are looking for the Ursula's singing voice. They're up on the ship. He finds a shell with singing voice. She takes it thinking it's hers. It sounds like it could be. It's the let me see if I can get this right. Uh 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 something like that. But unfortunately, doesn't match up, doesn't work. Apparently it was not hers, but another mermaid's singing voice. Oh, they go back to commercial. Ariel and Hook are talking. Then a fairy tale land. Then it flashes back to what happened with Ursula. So I think this is a tie-in to when we saw Ariel last, which was like season 2 or 3. Okay, and then with Ursula, she's talking to the father. She says, "You tried to take away the only thing left I have of Mom." And he said, "Oh, I only did that so I wouldn't lose you." "Oh, you only care." And then he talks to Hook, saying he only cares about his vengeance. And then in the present, Cordelia says, "Thank goodness." Oh, this is cute. She said, "Thank goodness that potion was only temporary. That scruff is so much more attractive than the timber." So then Emma and Mary Margaret, they come running in to rescue August. And says, "I remember somebody told me I need to believe in myself." We're talking to August because he's the reason why she had finally started seeing that everything that Henry and he had been saying about that being a fairy tale land had been true, and it was 100% her being the savior, and she needed to go ahead and save everybody from the curse from the evil queen. Okay. Commercial break. In the past, Ursula's talking with her dad. Something happened. She gets cynical. She says, "I'm even more powerful than you are." In the present, Ursula is I said Mary May. Is choke holding Mary Margaret with her tentacles. Ariel brought the Sea King, who has a trident. So, I used to watch the Little Mermaid cartoon growing up, and I do recall that there were different kingdoms in the sea. So it's very possible that this was not Trident, but another Sea King who happened to have a Trident. Which, in case, go Tritons! That's my alma mater. Go Tritons! Woo! Do I have something like that? I don't think so. Oh, I wish I did. Anyway, look him up. UCSC Tritons. So that's kind of nice. So he came back. He's like, "I have something for you. It's your voice. I want to hear one last time." Because he figures that she still totally hates him. So he gives her voice back. He's like, "I'm gonna go." She's like, "No, don't. It's all good again. This was the one thing that we had of Mom, and now we got it back." So she did a lot of growing, so that's good. So Hook and Emma, they're walking. They're like, "Hey." Hook's like, "Hey, with all this type of offers and books, there's one thing that we've been putting off. I am a villain. Eventually, that means it's only a matter of time before my happy ending is going to be affected. And then Emma said, well, that means that you found your end. Which I would have loved if it didn't totally jump ahead right then. But basically, I'm going to figure that was a very heartfelt, wonderful moment. And I really missed, and I'm bummed about that. Okay, so then Cruella de Vil, she goes over, she talks to Rumpelstiltskin. She's like, oh, he's like, why are you here? She's like, hey, they rescued August. There's a mole. Maleficent's like, oh, who's foolish enough to be a mole? And then Regina got all quiet. And then Cruella de Vil said, oh, it was that Ursula. She wanted to get her voice back. She went and talked to Daddy. She's the dirty rat. So Ursula's like, okay, before they leave, before they go back to through the portal to where they belong, she goes and she tells him the plan. She said, hey, Emma, Hook. It's got something to do with Emma. In order to change things, they gotta do something to save her. Because as long as they say we're saving, things won't work out for the villains. And then Regina, Emma, they're talking. Regina's like about her dream. She says, oh, Robert came back, and then I leave Queen. I basically, it said easy. Point is, I think Regina is afraid of herself going evil. And then August is worried about Regina, because he's like, oh, what's she about doing here? And then when Gold asked, August says, when Gold asked me, I didn't know where the door was because it was with Henry and I didn't know where he was. When actuality, this is the door. So next week, we're going to get into Maleficent. So, for anyone who's interested in hearing any more of my lovely self, some ideas. This is not an incident. Last week's episode about Regina finding about how the way to hurt Mary Margaret the most is to take away something she loves. Not to mention that something that she loves also happens to be, because in the past it was David, but now it's Emma. And it's not, hold on, let me switch cameras so I can stop tripping. So, it's not necessarily, it's connected. These aren't solo things. There is the thing that is most precious to Emma. They haven't been showing much of the baby. That's interesting. They really haven't. I wonder what happened with that. But it would be the firstborn, the one that she missed out all 30 years with and became saved and etc. And now Hook is worried, and now Ursula. Hook was worried talking to Emma about how it's just a matter of time before he loses his happy ending, and then Ursula comes in saying Emma is an integral thing. So it's like they're gonna be gunning for Emma. I'm concerned about that, but what I also know is I don't know. It's like for sure Emma's going to find a way to save. But even more, I'm going to say she isn't the one who's going to save. I think it's going to be Regina is going to reach a point where she, and this probably sounds a little repetitive from last week, but this is definitely working its way to that, where she's going to be given the opportunity, just like right now, she had the opportunity to totally mess Mary Margaret up when she possessed her, but she chose not to. And so she's going to be given the point to totally screw up Mary Margaret, and she's going to end up saving the day. And what's more, I don't think Rump is too far off from his breakthrough. I think he kind of got there and then totally hit the floor when his son got killed, which is, it makes sense that he would be depressed about his son being killed. But what's going to happen is eventually he's going to see that Belle and Henry, at least those two, are worth him not being such a anymore. So they already knocked off. Well, let's just say that we start off with 3 queens and the Dark One, little by little, working toward this big idea of getting happy ending. It looks like they are actually getting their happy endings in. I really am going to be interested to see how that's going to work out for Maleficent. But I have a feeling it's like a video game for me. It's like, okay, we're going to pick off the bosses one by one, and then we're going to get to the main boss. And frankly, I think they're all going to end up getting exactly what they wanted. And they're going to find out that, hey, we didn't really need to do this crazy, stupid plan of ours. So that's, that's what I'm figuring for later on. We still have, let me see. Share. Sharing. Sharing. Oh. That was the wrong screen to share. Let me try, oh, this one. Alright, so, according to this, we have, hold on, wait a minute. According to this, we have 14. So, we just did this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more to go before they end for the summer. So, we're just one poor unfortunate soul. Let's chat about that for a bit. Poor unfortunate soul. It's interesting because in the song, poor unfortunate soul in pain and need. Oh, unfortunate soul. Okay. Hopefully this doesn't take forever today. But I do recall Ursula, in the Disney film, talking about how she was in the business of helping people with issues. And I don't technically think that started off as a bad thing. I think it's like one of those brave situations, where the mother started off being a human and having human disabilities, but after a while, every so often, the longer she spent being a bear, the more the more like a bear she became, until finally there was the risk of losing all her humanity. And perhaps that's what happened with Ursula. I know I'm reading an awful lot for nothing, but Ika, poor unfortunate souls. Oh, I wish I could do some Disney sing-alongs. I am not the best ever, but gee to the winners, I like to try. There we go, perfect. Alright, so this is not mine, we're just looking up the loveliness, which is the lyrics. Metrolyrics.com. I tend to like those. Oh, okay, come on down. And so yeah, it's kind of like really interesting today's spin, because the story we all know and love, especially me. That was like the first movie I recall seeing in the theater. Whether or not I saw it before or after Roger Rabbit, I do not recall. But it was definitely the top 2 movies I saw on film in the theater. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, like on film, but yeah, technically what you used to watch the VHS tapes was not film. That was VHS tapes, so it wasn't as good as quality as it was in film, which I miss. I really miss film. Digital is cool, but gee whiz. Oops. Something happened. Hello? I'm still here. Okay. That was weird. Gotta check on things. Okay. Slow computer. So, poor unfortunate souls. Poor unfortunate souls. Slow computer. Poor unfortunate souls. Because, you know, part of the interesting thing about a song by a villain, especially in the case of Scar from Lion King, is you have to wonder how much of that is actually honesty. And it's kind of interesting that the once Horowitz and I can never remember the other guy's name. Okay, the point is, it's interesting that they went ahead and they were able to basically Maleficent movie Ursula. They made it so that people understandably saw why Ursula acted the way she did. And, you know, that's actually really believable for the character of Ursula in the movie, because it's like, there's a big question as to who she is and what her connection is, and definitely there's this whole idea of she feels like she's being slighted by the King Trident, I believe is what they say, but it could be Triton. That'd be funny. Okay. Alright, admit that in the past of nearly switch, switch, and then she's like, oh, I'm going to help people, and they have needs, so I want to help them. Oh, one of these days, I have to get some permission to do some Disney sing-alongs. Okay. Ursula, happy got deal. Can pay the price. But if you wish, bridge. So, alright. Now they don't really get into that. But that being said, this whole idea of this for that, this whole idea of trading, this whole idea of somebody is going to benefit and somebody's going to lose, and that is like a huge thing that's going on with this Once Upon a Time episode in this season so far. There's definitely this for that quid pro quo kind of thing going on, and I'm hoping, like I said before, that everybody's going to personally arrive to their own happy ever after and not have to be screwing everybody over in the process. So, going to be interesting to see what's going on with the red door. It kind of makes sense, like, since the whole thing is about portals here, and this is kind of Rumpelstiltskin, his shop is full of knickknacks that have different kinds of this and that. So it meanings, and so it totally makes sense that would be the actual door. The picture of the door would be the door. But now it's like, okay, so who is the author? Is it really the sorcerer? Is it really the apprentice? Is it somebody? Is it a case where it's somebody in the town, but they've kind of like shut off that part of the memory? It's like, is it Rumple? I mean, it's very possible. I mean, I don't know. And then the other thing is, we're getting this idea of what the happy endings are. So, with Ursula, oddly enough, it was the happy ending that was Ariel's, which was getting her voice back, but in this time, instead of getting a man, it was getting her father, which was nice. I think it's a really good thing when people can in a strange kind of relationship, a father-daughter relationship can mend and heal and go on from there. Um, but yeah, that was last thing I want to mention. That was really interesting how they paralleled Ursula's life with Ariel's life. The fact that she was the mermaid with the daddy issues, and she was the one who was trying to go off into a strange land, and it was her father who was scared to have to leave her, or that she would leave her, and because basically the mother had passed away. It's like, wow, that's, if they really have the same story, both Ariel and Ursula, it's like you figure they should be getting along so well, like, because they could totally relate with each other. So I wonder if they're ever going to go anywhere with that. But I did think it was pretty cool how they they tied things back to season 2 with Ariel. And there's another point, but at this rate, I'm just too sleepy to figure that out. So, that being said, that is the end of this lovely review and chit chat about Once Upon a Time, specifically Once Upon a Time Season 4, Episode 16, Poor Unfortunate Soul. Thank you very much for watching. Sure hope the audio has been amazing. Alright, peace out. Looking for that? Okay. Oh, I'm not sure which. Oh. Ugh. Okay, I've been looking at this bottom one, thinking I've been having that one on top of my back. Anyway, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your night. If everything goes well, see you chat more about next week's episode. Later.